Hello guys, welcome to EduFactsy. Today we will be starting a new lecture series on ancient history, which is a static part, and yes, it is of course important for various examinations like UPSC or any bank examinations or any other government examinations. And so today we will be discussing about the ancient history, the introductory part in this lecture 1. And first, before going into the lecture series, and I would like to add a few points. This is a YouTube channel where we are preparing a new lectures every day. Of course, we are all humans, and some mistakes might, although we are taking so much of care that no mistakes happen, but if any mistakes creep in, please do comment in the comment section, and please let us know so that we can add some annotations and make the corrections. And please do spread the word if you like the video. Okay, before going into the lecture, we'll start with the significance of ancient Indian history, because whatever we learn, we must make sure that we should know why we are learning it, right? We should not simply mug up, and many people might know like mugging up won't work always. So today we will know the significance of ancient history and what are the implications of it in our India and other things, and the lectures will follow up. Fine. Okay, first coming to the significance of ancient Indian history. Why the ancient Indian history is important? To know about the details of development of earliest cultures, agriculture and stock raising. So with the help of our ancient history, we can understand what is our culture previously and how they have started agriculture and how the stock raising has been developed, right? And discovery and utilizations of natural resources and means for livelihood, like how the early man or the early people who were our ancestors, how they have utilized the natural resources and what was their means for livelihood. This is one more significance, right? And to get an idea of how ancient inhabitants made arrangements for food, shelter and transport. I think you understood this. This is very easy, how they have made arrangement for food, shelter and transport, right? Then to know how they founded villages, cities and development of language and literature, right? We are living in cities, villages, and we are speaking many languages and literature has developed, but how they have done, how all these things have developed by time to time, this will help us, right? Next, the main motive of our Indian history is unity in diversity, right? Many of us know that many people have come in, invaded our country, they have looted our country, but still many travelers came, many ambassadors came. So many people came, and the major thing is they have helped in the spread of culture, right? Okay. So the first who all came, who are all there in our ancient history, the pre-Aryans, the Indo-Aryans, the Greeks, the Scythians, the Hunas and the Turks. Many people came, and what they have done, they have helped in the evolution of Indian social system. They have developed the art and architecture, and they have also developed the literature, right? And etc. many other things. So these Aryan elements are always these Aryan elements have contributed to Vedic and Puranic culture of the north, right? So these Aryan elements have contributed to the Vedic and Puranic culture of the north, and the pre-Aryan elements, they have contributed to the Dravidian and Tamil culture of the south, right? Now we will see these pre-Aryan tribals, like what they have done. These pre-Aryan tribals, they have settled in the eastern regions, and they have developed a language called Munda or the Kolarian languages, right? Several terms signifies the use of cotton, navigation, digging, etc. So this Munda or Kolarian languages, this is also comes from the Indian Aryan culture. See, we have this point here. The Munda culture and the Indo-Aryan culture. This Munda culture comes from the Indo-Aryan culture, and it is fairly strong culture within the Indo-Aryan culture, right? And they signify the use of navigation, digging, cotton, etc. in that language, right? Okay. Next, our ancient history has led to the birth of many religions. Since we already know that Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, and there are many religions which have taken birth, even the Sikhism. So this India has become a land for birth of many religions, and we will know how they have how these religions have formed, but still, in spite of many religions, we have a great religious tolerance, which is one of the unique features. Our country is a secular country, many of us know. Fine. Then our country, this also helps in knowing about the Janapadas. What are the Janapadas? Janapadas are nothing but a geographical unity plus cultural integration. They have formed into territorial units. Nothing but nowadays we can call them as states, right? So in olden days, a geographical unity and a cultural integration, they both formed a territorial unit, and they are called as Janapadas, right? So the other names, the ancient names of our country are the Aryavata and the Bharatvarsha. Aryavata comes from the cultural community, a dominant cultural community called Aryans, and they have extended their sway from northern and central India, and extended from the eastern to the western sea coasts, right? And the other name is Bharatvarsha, or the land of Bharatas. So they are in the sense of a tribe or a family, and this figures also in the Rig Veda and Mahabharata, right? Okay. Then next, Iranian text. From Iranian text, the origin of the word was Hindu. Hindu was nowhere related to any religion in olden days. The Sindhu, their intention is to mention Sindhu, and S is pronounced as H in Iranian text, and they call as Hindu, and this is a territorial unit, right? This is a territorial unit, and Iranian rulers conquered the Sindh area, and they have later, when they conquered the Sindh area, they call it as Hindustan, right? Okay. Next, the kings who tried to establish their authority from the Himalayas to the Cape Cameroon, and and from the valley of Brahmaputra in the east to the land beyond the Indus in the west were universally praised, right? And they were also known as the Chakravartis, right? So these Chakravartis, even we know about the Ashoka. He is also one of the Chakravarti who have conquered major of the part in India, and his inscriptions were written in Prakrit language and in Brahmi script. His inscriptions were spread all over the country, and they paved the way for knowing the ancient India, right? These inscriptions helped the archaeologists to find many facts about our ancient India and its culture. So after the Prakrit language, the next important language was considered as Sanskrit, and during the Gupta period, it has become the state language, and even the epics Ramayana and Mahabharata were written in the Sanskrit language, right? And the ancient history helps us to know the social system or the caste system which is prevalent even till to date. We have many castes in our culture, so this helps us to know about the social system, and it is called as the Varnas. The castes were called as the Varnas, so it helps us to know about the Varnas or the caste system, right? So we will see what are the limitations of ancient India, like what are the negative points which we can see in our ancient India. The ancient Indian society has gross social injustice, yes, because only certain class of people were given importance, and certain people have really looked down upon, and for which later many great leaders like Ambedkar have revolted and got justice to them. Not only in India, in countries all over the world, there was gross social injustice prevalent during those days, and those were the Shudras and the untouchables. So there is a social injustice for certain class, and due to their disabilities, and there is a lot of prevalence of caste system, and also the law and custom discriminate against women in favor of men. So always women were looked down upon during the ancient days. Now slowly the situation is changing, and still it needs to change, and women need to be empowered. So there is a lot of discrimination against women in the favor of men, and age-old social subordination of women. So there was always social subordination, like women were always below the men in ancient days. It's not like today where men and women are treated equally. It's not like that. In ancient days there were social subordinations. So fine, this is the introductory part. Then we will see some of the contributions of historians. Many historians have contributed. First we will see the contributions from the British part, like the Western historians. In 1776, the Manusmriti, the law book of Manu was translated into a code of Gento laws, right? It was translated into a code of Gento laws by the East India Company. And in 1784, the Asiatic Society of Bengal, was formed by Sir William Jones. He was the first to suggest that Sanskrit, Latin and Greek belong to the same family of languages, right? He was the first to tell these things. And he also translated Abhignana Shakuntalam. Abhignana Shakuntalam was written by Kalidasa, and it was a play, and he translated into English in 1789, right? Then translation of Bhagavad Gita into English was done by Wilkins in 1785, right? These years are need to be remembered because at times in UPSC they are asking the chronology. So for that we can remember. And in 1804, Bombay Asiatic Society was formed. And in 1823, Asiatic Society of Great Britain was formed. To remember this chronology, there is a small tip. In 1784, Asiatic A starts with A is the first alphabet, and then the Bombay Asiatic. So B, so A comes after B. So it is a AB, and this Asiatic Society of Great Britain. So always, since we are Indians, we give preference to India. So India will be in the first, and next to the rest of the countries. Even though it sounds silly, this helps in remembering the chronology, right? So this led to the great importance to Indological studies. The German-born scholar Max Muller, he translated ancient scriptures in a massive scale because of the effect of revolt of 1857. So due to the effect of revolt of 1857, the ancient scriptures were translated. Why they were translated? To know the ancient India, because if they know the ancient India and the traditions, it would be easy for them to rule India and establish a proper rules, right? In 1904, the first systematic history of India, it was written by V.S. Smith, and the first systematic history of India was presented by V.S. Smith, and he wrote the book called Early History of India, right? This book was obviously pro-imperialistic, and he has made certain generalizations in the book. He said that Indians lack the sense of history and element of time. He said the Indian element of time and chronology. So he said Indians lack sense of history and element of time and chronology, and Indians were accustomed to the despotic rule. There was always one despotic rule in India, so Indians were accustomed, and natives were engrossed in problems of spiritualism. He also generalized that natives were engrossed in the problem of spiritualism, and Indians don't have the sense of nationhood nor any form of self-government. So, nor any form of self-government. He generalized that from the ancient in his book, that Indians don't have any sense of nationhood nor any form of self-government. On a whole, this completely denigrates the Indian character and achievements to justify the colonial rule, right? He has just justified the colonial rule, and Indian tradition of one-man rule could justify the system of viceroy. So with this, the ancient British have justified the system of viceroy based on the Indian despotic rule or the one-man rule. Okay, fine. With this, we will end today's lecture. Thank you for watching. Do spread the word, and if you like it, please do spread the word. And if there are any mistakes, again, it's I apology from my side. Please do mention in the comment section so that it can be corrected. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching.